I know you guys have talked about it a little bit. I want to talk about the nurses' strike going on still.
St. Vincent nurses strike. They have been on strike now for 8 months, I think it is.
Yeah, it's now the longest nurses' strike in mass history.
And we should just remind people, this is a hospital that was bought several years ago by an outfit from Texas called Tenet. And they have a history of buying Catholic hospitals, using the veneer of these community hospitals, and then really pulling back on services for people because, of course, that's the way they increased their profits. And these St. Vincent nurses went on strike. I think they want a little bit higher pay, but it's mostly understaffing. They're being overworked, and there were increased number of complaints about patient safety, and Tenet completely ignored it.
Well, right. And, what nobody has really, I mean, first of all, this seems to be getting like no national attention at all from what I've seen, which is insane. And
I know like,
getting to
Pelosi visited even like a month ago. I think she was there. Warren has been down there. It is surprising that there isn't that much more national attention, but you're only talking about, what is it, like 600 nurses?
Yeah, it was like somewhere between like 600 and 800. But also this all started in 2018 because on the ballot, one of the questions was about nurse-patient staffing ratios. And so it wasn't just St. Vincent's, it was all the hospitals around here that were saying, hey, we have, 10 patients to each nurse or whatever, and, they just can't take care of them properly. And so they were trying to mandate staffing ratios. And all these hospitals and these healthcare companies spent millions of dollars, putting up billboards and all these TV ads and everything saying, pretty much just lobbying against that, trying to make everybody think it was a bad idea and that the nurses were just, they just want more money or they just want their day to be easier at work or whatever. They don't want to have to work as hard. It's now this thing where they're just a bunch of lazy nurses, I guess, because they don't want to have to run around to, 50 patients a day and not give them the proper care.
Yeah, I mean, this is happening not just, like you say, not just at St. Vincent's. I mean, this is a real problem with nursing everywhere. I mean, you've got these major hospital conglomerates, I should say, and they are looking to increase their profits. And the way you do that is by cutting on staff and providing less services, same amount of money, providing less services, more profits. Shareholders do better. And we should say by shareholders, I know this for a fact, but I would be willing to bet that every one of those members of the C-suite of Tenet and their board of directors are all, a big part of their compensation is in stock or stock options. And when they hit these certain profit benchmarks, their stock value goes up and boom, that's the way they do it. And so they don't care about the hospitals. That is almost like their side. Absolutely. That is, they care about, they're running a financial company. And it just so happens that what they're packaging or securitizing ultimately are these businesses that provide care to people when they're sick. But at the end of the day, the only metric they care about is that stock valuation, because that's the way that they walk home with their pockets full of money. And that is in virtually every other industry in our country at this point, but obviously has some more real world impact when you're talking about hospitals.
Oh, and everybody eats up their bullshit, we care about the patients, that's why we want our nurses to come back from strike and everything. So you can say, so they say, oh, we don't have the money to hire, to hire enough nurses to cover these. If we lower the nurse to patient ratio, we need more nurses. So you're going to say, in one breath, you're saying you don't have money to hire enough nurses for that. Meanwhile, you're spending, tens of millions of dollars on billboards and ads and all sorts of stuff to espouse that message.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, it makes sense insofar as they know long term that they don't want their labor costs to be higher because it impacts their profits, which is impacting their stock share. I mean, the bottom line is just like they are. What's the word? Rapacious? What is the word I'm looking for?
Rapacious.
Rapacious. And the greed is just intense. And, and I would also add, it's companies like Tenet are really why we don't have an expanded Medicare. Whether you're talking about single payer or whether you're talking about expanded Medicare for, different ages, it's companies like that. These people are horrible.
Right. And the CEO of St. Vincent's, I just want to say, too, she has really she is just a total ghoul. I mean, the type of shit that she is saying in these press releases and everything is just insane. She's saying, I want to thank the nurses who crossed the picket line for their courage and resilience. I urge the rest of you to cross the picket line.
Scumbags.
Call off the strike now. Oh, she's such a piece of shit. I mean, well, it's just brutal.
Go down there and bring him a pizza or honk your horn for me.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing that. Yeah, and I just want to say, too, I'll see you guys at the Boston show.
Love it. Connor, appreciate it, bud. Bye.
All right, have a good one.
All right. Sweet. Wonder if he's going to take Route 9 or take the Pike to the show. I guess we'll ask him next time he calls.
That can be half of the show, is just asking people how they got there.
Dude, anybody take the train from Worcester into here or what? That would actually be a pretty funny show. Listen, we're just going to start. We're going to start first. Who came in on Route 128? What about 93? Okay, and the Pike? What about Route 9? Did anybody come here from Route 1? Who's from the South Shore here? It's been a long time since I've done any performance in Boston.